All right, we are live. I'm going to wait for everyone else to hop in while everyone's getting ready. We're going to post on Instagram and get the show on the road. I accidentally clicked the live button a little too soon, but it's whatever. It don't matter. Welcome everybody to the stream. For everyone watching, just give me 1 second. We're going to get locked and loaded. We're getting Favi in. We're going to get everyone else into this. So just bear with me for 1 second. Welcome everybody. Let's get Favi in here now too. It's 6 o'clock. Favi, welcome.
What up? What up? How's it going?
Pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Good. Just getting ready, taking a little bit of a break of soccer, but now we have international stuff. So
What do
this
you
is
mean
where
taking a break? This is just where it begins, man.
you thrive. All right.
I had a quick question. I wanted to revisit something we talked about when you were previously on a stream with us. Remember we talked about Jesus Ferreira?
And how he's gonna score goals? Well, he scored his first one.
Remember you were like glazing him and I said I would take a Bobasi over him as a striker?
Yeah.
Yeah, what do you think about that now?
Hey man, if you want to send a message to FIFA, you need Jesus Ferreira on your team. All right. You don't need Jeremy Bobasi.
I don't know. I'm just saying you could just give me props for credit's due, but maybe I'm the true MLS reporter. Oh, here's
Hey,
Will. Everyone's in now. Okay.
it's a little early to say. All right. It's a little
I don't
early.
know, man. I don't know.
You guys didn't need him yet.
Okay, here he goes, Will. Here he goes, Brody. The Avengers have assembled, and everyone's just starting to hop into the live now. Jesus, we haven't had this many people on a live in a very, very long time. Holy cannoli. How does everyone feel, by the way? How's everyone feeling? Oh, I don't know if I like this actually. Let's
Honestly, I feel like I don't get paid enough. So
Oh, well, that's I think a problem that we all have right now. Will, welcome. I know you've been pumping out the content recently, CCC. I mean, now we're gonna you're gonna start switching gears to Club World Cup. So this is the way we're introducing to it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or my sounder green today. It's not really
Nice.
sounder green. It's
It's more
it doesn't
timber
matter
green,
anyways. Yeah,
but
it's timber
it's the
green
thought
actually.
that counts. It's the
Yeah.
thought that counts. And then Brody is here per usual. Okay, let's talk a little about these protests. They did kind of come out of nowhere, and this is I think it's a bit of a not saying it's a bad thing, just saying it's a bit of a strange way to start kicking off this whole Club World Cup series with the Sounders. I mean, not Sounders, MLS in this tournament. Let's get with Will and Fabi's opinions first on this, and then we'll wrap around with me and Brody, depending on what you guys say. Tom recently came out with this report about how the club owner. Okay, let's just start from the beginning, actually. The Big Bang. So the initial one, Sounders wore the Club World Cup cash grab t-shirts pre-match against Minnesota United. Sadly, the team lost, but they wore this pre-game due to the amount of compensation they are receiving. Then yesterday, news broke out from Tom that apparently the Sounders owner, Adrian Hanauer, was angry about it post-game. Fabi, since you know money very, very well, sadly not for your own sake, but for MLS's sake, what is your thoughts on all this? What is this whole fiasco that's going on? And then, give us your thoughts. And then, Will, you can go after him.
Yeah, if I'm not mistaken, the players, at least in Seattle, were saying that they feel like they should be paid a bit more. The split, if I understand this correctly, is 90 for the owners and 10% for the players. So all that prize money you've been hearing the last couple of months, it is that 90% goes to the owners and 10% only goes to the players. So when we're talking about this $10 million game, or we're talking about the money that's going to, let's say, the next round or winning a game, that money is going to the owners instead of fully going to the players, which is like working. You have a boss who makes 90% of a dollar and you make 10,
Yeah.
The normal thing.
Will?
I mean, I just think it's kind of funny. Where's this outrage when it comes to the Leagues Cup?
Yeah.
Where's this outrage when it comes to the small salary cap MLS has, not getting paid enough? Where's that outrage at? I mean, 90-10, I mean, it's still $1 million. It's still pretty good. I think the CONCACAF Champions Cup winner only makes like 5. And I don't really know how that's divided up between the team, but I would assume that it's still probably less when you divide who gets what than the Club World Cup. I just think it's a shit show, man. I don't remember what Adrian Henauer said specifically, but I think he essentially said like, "Hey, nut up, stop bitching about it. Like, you guys need to play." Like, they signed a contract, man. I mean, $1 million is still pretty damn good. I mean, do they just want to sit? I mean, if they want to sit it out, every other MLS fan would love that. They'd be like, "Yeah, please get us another MLS team in there. Let's see how sit out. They're gonna get fucking absolutely obliterated anyway. Go ahead and protest. Sit out. Have another play-in game. Maybe get another MLS team in there." I just think it's crazy. I've talked to several people about this. Everyone says that it's an opportunity for these players to showcase their talents. We saw Nuhu when he had the AFCON match against Mo Salah years ago, how his stock rose pretty significantly. They should have sold him there. We got to mention that, right, every time. This is an opportunity to present your talents against Atletico Madrid, PSG, and Botafogo. What's there to complain about? It's 3 matches. Don't understand. I mean, the $1 million, if you deviate, I don't know how they specifically devy that up. I would assume it's everyone gets an equal share on the team out of the $1 million. But that's probably more than some of these guys make in 3 games in a year.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to this, I mean, this isn't how I wanted the Sounders to kick. No, again, let's say this, okay. I don't want everyone to get outraged, and I see you guys all commenting. Everyone, please comment your stuff during the live. We're going to revisit it. We're all going to give our opinions on it. I was first and foremost surprised about it. I didn't know this was going on. I don't think anyone knew it was going on. And this isn't how I would have wanted us to kick off this whole Club World Cup campaign, was about this. But obviously, as more information has come about, we're learning more and more about the situation. It is more so the players. I want to also preface this for everybody. It's more so the players are upset with the league than they are with the actual tournament. That's not the issue. Obviously, there's this whole other dilemma with the tournament that doesn't really address that. That's not really an issue for us here. It is how ML. But this is the thing is Favi and Will, you guys have actually done thousands of videos actually talking about how bad MLS is when it comes to allocating money, salary caps, all this issue. This is nothing new. And I understand the players' frustrations 100% because some of these guys make jack shit. Like, honestly, like, I think if Brody and I combined our wages, we'd actually probably be making more than some of the players on the team, which is kind of sad. But that is the reality of it.
Hey, where y'all work, though?
I know Fabi's making more than at least half the team.
Hey, where y'all? Hey, all I know is if you're the Seattle Sounders owner, I'm walking out there and be like, hey, I re-signed Albert, all right? That's where your money went, all right?
Bro, you and this Albert Rusnak. Remember oh my god, bro. Bobby, like, we were, and the thing is, that's how we started the stream. Will, I don't know if you heard it. I asked Bobby, I was like, so Jesus Ferreira, because he was like, it was Favi, and then it was Brody, like top 2 Glazers of Ferreira when the deal first happened. And now looking at it, I was mentioning to Fabi saying, like, would we have minded actually getting a Boba Sea? Because that's who I advocated for over them too. And Fabi was kind of.
I just want to point out that Fabi is the ultimate supreme glazer of Jesus Ferreira and Alan Polito. Those are like his glazed out glizzy, dude. That's like who he absolutely simps out for. Just got to point that out.
Look, he's gonna score against PSG, and then everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my god,
dude!" If Lautaro Martinez and Thuram couldn't score against PSG,
and Danny Musovski can.
But Danny Musovski.
All I'm saying is, y'all wanted Jesus. Y'all said you needed Jesus.
I didn't.
Jesus.
That's not the Jesus.
Jesus, not Jesus.
I
brother.
wanted Gabriel. I wanted Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, exactly.
Not this Jesus.
I ran into him on an elevator one time. That was crazy. In
Wow,
DC.
another Glaze moment right there, Will.
Yeah,
Another
I was
Fabi
like-
Glaze moment.
I was like, honestly, Jesus Ferreira is a better player at this
You
moment.
said to Gabriel Jesus.
Yeah, I don't think he understood me. He speaks Portuguese, you know.
Oh,
I think he understood you. He's like, what the?
I'm not talking to this guy anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean, like this whole thing, it's not good, and I get it because a lot of these players don't make a lot of money, and I get like, but at the same time too, there's one perspective. I get the players, I back the players. That's not the point here, but we are a small blimp on this big spectrum of the tournament, so we have to see as well what other teams do. We got to see what LAFC does. We got to see what Inter Miami does. It's gonna be a bad look if Inter Miami and LAFC don't do anything, but it's only the Sounders. I will say that much. But I hope the other MLS teams, and obviously the MLS Players Association came out with that article, which actually I'll pull up for you guys right now. But
I just think it's funny because you see the juxtaposition of LAFC like cry Bawanga like screaming, you know, he scores a goal,
Yeah.
and then everyone's finally excited for this Club World Cup. I'm here thinking, man, me and Will did a great job hyping this thing up. People care about it, and then boom, the next day I'm on a flight and someone sends me this, and I'm like, wait, what? I'm like, man, we did a good job if they care about it, you know. So no, but I'm kidding. But yeah, it was shocking for sure.
yeah, I mean, I was surprised too because I thought we were all gearing up for the tournament. I was like, okay, we're getting in Club World Cup mode, this and that. I mean, Brody, what was your thoughts on it? I know you behind the books, everybody. If you're watching this, you get insider info. Brody and J Ross actually recorded a video talking about it, but then the Adrian Hanauer news came out, so we thought instead, let's get it live. Let's assemble. Should we be the Justice League instead of the Avengers? I think Justice League's a little more is better, but we assembled the Justice League
because we're the off-brand. We don't make enough money as a Justice League. That's why.
They're both kind of washed. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro.
They are.
Yeah.
But Brody, what was some of the stuff you guys talked about? What was your thoughts on it too? I think you had a lot more opinions to talk about. You dug a little bit deeper into this.
Yeah, well, so my biggest thing originally was just, and I said it in the recording, is like, I'm not a fucking expert. I was not there when the CBA was made. I don't know the terms. I don't know what was talked about.
You weren't, Brody. What are you doing, bro?
All
of this media credential access
believe it or not,
I give you?
I believe it or not, I in fact was not present when this was made.
Wait a second, Brody. I thought you were the players' liaison. What are we doing here?
Yeah, what are we doing here?
Like, I hate to burst everyone's bubble, but I, in fact, did not have a big part in this. But
wait, I thought you asked me for Jason Hernandez's number so you can talk to him. You know.
You weren't negotiating with Don Garber?
Bro.
What the fuck?
Nah.
Yeah.
I mean, clearly it's not going well, guys. I mean, it's not like my hope would have mattered anyways. But listen, no, that was honestly, like, I do see both sides. I mean, you first and foremost, the thing was signed, the CBA was signed. So, like, technically the owners don't have to do shit. Technically they can just keep it how it is, and the players, you know, sucks to suck. I can see it from that perspective. I also see the players' perspective. You know, they feel like, I mean, without the players, there's no product. Without the players, we're not here making, you know,
And
videos.
that's the big dilemma, and that's the big dilemma in the world of football. Like Rodri talked about, like, we're getting overplayed, we're not making enough money. But continue, just to add on to it.
Yeah. So I mean, obviously the players are the product, and you know, you want to see them get taken care of, especially, you know, the ones lower in the spectrum. I mean, your Rusnaks are taken care of, obviously. Weibel made great sure of that. You know, the top end guys are taken care of, but you know, the guys on the lower end, they're making like what, 70, 80K. So there's money, like, it's a big bonus to them. So I could see why they're
What is
passionate about
Rothrock
it.
making?
I think didn't he get his deal revamped?
get
I'm
an
pretty sure after
extension?
last season. Yeah, I think he got his deal. I don't know, man.
Oh,
Probably a
okay.
lot because Brian loves. Speaking of glizzy gobbling like Favi, yeah, that's Brian's glizzy gobble right there.
Hey, all I know is they can do a little fundraiser. They can sell some cookies, like lemonade stand,
The car wash.
car wash. You know what? I'm gonna be in Seattle, and if they need help to get the word out, I'll do it for free. So please.
Yeah.
I think ultimately, though, like I said, I'm on both sides. I see both sides, but to me, this doesn't even bother me that much anymore. It's the stuff about Adrian Hanauer that bothers me. First of all, I just think it's like super cringe when like the owner goes into the locker room. Like I just don't like that. I saw like when Todd Bowley did that with Chelsea. I'm like, dude, like what are you doing in there, man? Like get out.
Whoa,
So
but
I don't like that.
Don't
The fact
disrespect
that
my guy Todd like that though. Don't disrespect
listen,
my guy.
man,
I'm just kidding.
I don't like you're coming in there. You're not really giving any dignity to this. Like you're not dignifying the players at all. Like they have a reason, like a valid reason to be upset. You know, they want security. They want to be paid more because they're the product. But it's just like no understanding, no like almost destroying the relationship you have with the players. Like going in there just cursing at all of them, like not understanding their side at all. When apparently privately they tried to, you know, bring forth to the owners to him, and like nothing was getting done about it.
Like they
And
can't
it's just
even
like
afford DP. You think they're gonna get more money? Like, come on.
It's true.
yeah, but it's like, listen, even if like let's say even if Hanauer has zero plans to do anything about it, just the way that you just go in there and like just rip into the players like that, to me that's really cringe.
Yeah.
And I think that's just how you. I think it could be the start of
The beginning
the
to the
downfall. I
end.
mean, the downfall's already started, but this is just making it worse. Like,
Well, hopefully they sell
you
it.
you lost the GM, you lost the scout,
Yeah.
and now you're gonna lose the locker room. And then I'm like, imagine, like, bro, this could, in my opinion, when you lose the players like this, like people are gonna see this, they're probably gonna think twice about coming here because of shit like this coming out. It makes us look unserious. It makes us look like a joke, and I feel like this could just be the start of. I mean, I guess the continuation of what is the Sounders' downfall. And I think Adrian Hanauer, bro, I think you just need to sell the team, to be honest with you. And not only just for stuff like this, but we always talk about the Sounders. You know, where was the ambition? They had ambition. What
The
happened
ambition.
to it? The ambition was not from this fucking guy right
Rave
here.
Green Ambition TV.
Dude, the ambition was not from this guy right here. It was from our original majority owner, Joe Roth, who sold the team, I think, in like 2018, 2019. That's the dude that like pulled the strings behind the Dempsey, the Oba signings like this. Hanauer didn't even like, yeah, Hanauer didn't even like want to do, like I was looking back at old pieces, like when Dempsey got signed and whatnot. Hanauer
Dude, bro,
didn't even
Brody
want
is like the definition of a nostalgia merchant.
listen, bro, he didn't even want to like. He didn't want to be a part of that move. He kind of like got forced into it because like, hey, this is like a real thing, and Joe Ross like throwing all that he can into this thing, and Hanauer's like, fine, whatever. Like so if it wasn't for Joe Roth, huh?
What you're telling me is Hanauer has Carlos Vela on his Mount Rushmore over Nicola Dato? Is that what you're telling me right now?
Yes, it's true. And by the way, Brody is not nostalgia. He is past guy. You're a chill guy. He's past guy. He's in the past, dude. He's living in the past, man. He's got that Dempsey shirt on every night he's sleeping, dude. He's just dreaming about the good old days.
Dude, he's stroking that Dempsey poster every night, bro.
Look at that, dude. That is staring you in the face, dude.
He's the good old days, and the good old days weren't because of him. They weren't because of him. They were because of our original majority owner who sold the team. And if he wasn't ever in the picture, we would never have the Dempseys, the Martins, the Laderos. And now you're just seeing the fruits of
the O'Brien Whites
selling the team and Hanauer being the majority owner. You're just seeing the fruits of it. Horrible GM hire, like shit like this coming out, not really investing much in the team because he wants to invest in other things. Like you're seeing it, bro. You're seeing the fruits of this. And it's
whoa. What did Favi say? No way. He's gonna start glazing.
Honestly, it could be worse.
Oh my bro.
Here's the thing, bro. I get that it could be worse. Like I get but
tired of this.
That's not the mentality I want to have, bro. That's not the mentality. Because then you just become complacent. You become okay with your club just
sucking ass,
going down a terrible path.
Dude, listen, this team has fallen off so much. Anybody, dude, there's people trying to tell me that this team never had ambition. They just kind of lucked their way into championships. That is like some extreme gaslighting, dude. That is extreme gaslighting. This team was signing, dude, they paid $9 million for Clint Dempsey in 2013. That was unheard of for a fee for a player at that time. 2013. I remember because my buddy, this is when I really, really started getting into Major League Soccer. My buddy was a huge Dempsey, like hard on for Dempsey, more than Brody does. Okay. He probably had 3 posters in his room and one in the bathroom. All right. And the shower.
Crazy.
That's this another story. Anyway, he was like, oh, Dempsey's our best player for the USMNT. He would never come to Major League Soccer. Swear to God. 2 months later, he comes to MLS. They announce he's going to Seattle. And I was like, dude, that is crazy. All right. 30-year-old best player for the USMNT. In 2013, we don't have any of our best players for the USMNT. And this isn't like a guy who's been in Major League Soccer his whole career. This is a guy that was playing at Fulham, was playing for Tottenham, was scoring in I think he was like second place in the Premier League. Getting him to come over here.
Back in 2012, yeah.
2012, yeah. You got him to come over at 30 years old and come back to the United States and live and play for Seattle. We can't even do that now. A lot of our best players don't have no interest in coming here right now. But I say all that to say the team has lost its identity. They don't do anything that really pushes the envelope anymore. And I don't like Adrian Henauer as far as like his ambition, because he has no ambition, right? He's like the least ambitious person there's probably is in the Western Conference. Maybe we'll have to look in the teams. But I kind of see his point, because he's like, you guys sign the contract. If you didn't read the CBA, that's on you. Yeah. That's on you guys. That's on you guys. You got representatives that agreed to this deal for the CBA. That's on you. So I kind of see his point. The players obviously would like more than just $1 million out of the 10 million. I mean, I would too. You guys would. Everybody would. But it's kind of like one of those things. It's like, I tell you what, you guys score a goal in the group stage, and then we can talk about getting some bonuses. You guys score 1 goal against any of those 3 teams, then we can start talking about giving you a bigger piece of the pie.
See, and that's the dilemma. I mean, I think Brody nailed it on the head. I see both sides of the story. And before we continue this, guys, we're at around the 22nd minute mark of the live stream. Everyone smash a like on the live for assembling the B-Tech Justice League. 1 like might get us up to the true Justice League. We don't know. Who knows? To go on to some of the questions that people were commenting, Carson was saying it's really frustrating that all the other leagues similar to ours seem to be taking this tournament seriously, and we are about to run about Danny Musovski legitimately. Yes and no. I mean, I definitely think MLS is a handicap one. We'll have to, I think the best way we can put this in perspective is let's see what every team does in the, I mean, Will, you put out a tweet today talking about, let's see what the teams, what players the teams buy in this window. And then you preface except for Seattle, because we already know nothing's going to happen, but we have to see that, because I wouldn't be surprised if Miami does something. I wouldn't be surprised, especially because Under's going back to Fenerbahce. They're going to have some space there. We have to see what happens. And today we were constantly posting about Botafogo. They are going off right now. They're going to buy Correa. They're going to probably buy Jovic. Like, this team's going all in, and they are probably the weakest of the 3 teams we're playing against. So that's one thing that scares me a little bit. Christian says it's worse than 90-10. There's a cap of $1 million in prize money per MLS CBA. It's not good. Vamos Sounders, I do like this. I'm with the players, but the last thing we need right now is being distracted. And that's the thing I'm most worried about is the thing is Sounders already have such a tall task ahead of them. Like, we already know, like, more videos to come on that, by the way. Sounders are just baby oil, sit down, lay down, baby oil session. Like, seriously, that's what we're in. And now we have this going on. That's the big thing I'm a little bit worried about. Is I don't want this to draw away from us doing, because again, like what Will said, this is a huge opportunity for a lot of players. A lot of players have a lot of good offers. I'm not going to call out who the players are. Before this tournament starts, they told me this, but they are waiting till the club is waiting till after this tournament to possibly consider any deals for any players on the team. So that's where I think Sounders need to be really looking at. Obviously, the players are not getting a fair share. I just hope something can change. And I think a good way to look at it, or an incentive, is do something, play well, get a goal, reward them for that. Kind of like when Leicester City won the Prem, the owners bought them all, BMWs and whatnot. Oklahoma kid, shout out to him, a goated member. Wonder how Ryan Kent sees this coming from the UK. One thing I was speaking to a few of the players about was it does very much look like Kent is here for this tournament. And I think part of me, like we talked about the Rusnaks, the Morrises, the Kents, they're probably not too bothered by this. If I'm going to keep it a buck, they probably don't care. It's more of like the De Rosarios, the Rothrocks, I don't know, who else is low salary? The Georgies, the Bells. So I don't know. But what do you guys have to add? Let me actually answer Taco Kids. The thing is, even if we were gonna sign like a big DP because we have no room, we could use the 10-day window and use the Club World Cup as a selling point to a U22 striker that maybe wouldn't come help otherwise.
That's a good point. I mean, you have an opportunity that not a lot of teams have in the world. I mean, you should be looking at like some loaners too, like some guys who you would bring in just for the tournament. Like for example, a guy like Darwin Nunez has been linked to River Plate. Shoot, the Sounders could easily be in the play for that if River Plate is, So I don't know. I think it's an opportunity. Yeah, I mean, hey, if Darwin can score against PSG or if he can score against Botafogo,
with the Sounders.
Bobby, what the fuck did you smoke before you came on here?
Maybe
did you just say Darwin Nunez?
Maybe he can get the confidence he needs for the season.
Bro, what?
Hey, River Plate? Like, are you serious?
Are you out of your mind?
Does
Darwin Nunez wouldn't sign with LAFC. He ain't signed with no damn Sounders. You out of your mind?
Hey, I just want that Sounders.
They couldn't sign Darwin Nunez's dad. Yeah, no, I know you're a Darwin. I know you got he's in the Glizzy Glaze whatever category.
Hey,
but dude,
all
come
I'm
on, let's be
saying
honest
is
here.
a 1 month loan could be possible.
This is an interesting point Sergio makes. Players need to deal with the fact they got screwed. The question is, should we, the fans, have to deal with the players' lack of commitment? Why bother going to games if they are not going to even try? I don't think it's a lack of commitment per se. It's all in all, it's just it's a fucked situation. It's a fucked situation. The thing is like kind of like it's like some Kobe Bryant shit right now. Brody, you love Kobe. Dude, even Will's got Kobe behind him. It's kind of just like have that Mamba mentality. You got fucked, but what can you do now about the situation? And I think for these players, the most important thing is play well. Maybe earn a bigger move for yourself. Put yourself in a position where you can earn money by leaving the club.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was one of the things that Will said that I agreed with on like the side of, I guess, the owners or the club or whatever. Is like you have a huge opportunity, especially like the guys like Obed, the guys like Pedro, the younger dudes with talent and potential. Like this is
let's not forget what Craig said though. One of the three teams is one of the three teams. One of the three teams
PSG.
is interested in Pedro. Like, I love how he couldn't have just said Botafogo is interested. Time out.
I gotta say this real quick. Just real quick. Favi, there is a better chance that Pedro de la Vega would go to PSG for a record-breaking fee and be a starter on that team than Darwin Nunez coming to the Sounders for 1 month, 1 day, 1 week, 1 hour, 1 minute. Just got to get that out of the way.
This is funny. Okay, wait. It's Taco Kid says Brody oiling up. What was Brody your oil up deal, by the way, for the club world? It's if Musovski scores or if we get a win. Yeah.
Musovski scores, yeah.
And then mine is if we win. If we win a game. And then Will, looks like you've been roped into this.
Make the MLS Cup. I can't do that one. Nah. I can't.
But we suck, bro. We're
what happened? What happened?
The thing, I don't have any dog in the fight. I can't lay it on the line like that. I got no dog. It's a lose-lose for me either way. I don't care enough to do that. What do I win if they don't make it to the MLS Cup?
Good question.
See, it's interesting because we saw a lot of comments on our social media about like people being with the players, but then the chat is more of like, if you want more money, then play harder, earn some more cash from a draw/win. That is true too. That isn't, I mean, obviously it's not that much more, but Will and Fabi, I mean, you guys are a little bit, obviously the league a little broader. Is there any rumors of LAFC and Miami bringing anyone? Obviously, because there's no rumors for the Sounders for those two teams.
Brian Rodriguez to Inter Miami is a real rumor. I mean,
ex-LAFC man?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Brian Rodriguez even said to Uruguayan TV that he has talked to Suarez about the transfer and that he's mulling it over. So now that LAFC has won and Club America lost, Club America is ready to move on. So it could actually happen.
But what about for LAFC?
Nothing yet. I haven't seen anything just yet. But with Under, like you were saying, they have a spot for a DP, and I don't know, maybe Bouanga leaves too, because there was some rumors about him going to a Turkish club as well. So I don't know. They might do that a whole different facelift for that team after this tournament, or even before it.
We've done a video talking about it. J Ross did. He's not here, but J Ross is here in spirit.
Mm-hmm.
If there is one player the Sounders should sign during this window, what do you two think it should be? What should they address? Let's go two. I'll give you guys two. If they could sign a number one priority and a second priority, what should they be?
Star power. That's what they need. They need a star.
A position, Bobby.
Striker. Darwin Nunez, baby. or I don't know, like, I mean, Ronaldo's available, right? So I know it's gonna sound dumb, but like you need something like that. You know, you need a lot. You need a lot. But you need goals too. You're not gonna sign a defender for this.
I don't know if Ronaldo fits the U22, the U22 spot. I think.
Well, you trade away Rusnak. Okay,
dude, that's your guy though. You can't just trade away your guy, Bobby.
Trade away Rusnak to anybody willing to take a DP slot on.
But remember, wait, let's revisit. Remember, Brody. Remember we asked him this question. Let's revisit it. Who would sign Rusnak on a DP deal in MLS? You said maybe one.
Let's go find that one.
Let's find that one, and that's us.
One team and trade him.
The San Jose Earthquakes. No, I'm kidding.
Dude, San Jose's upgraded.
Okay. San Jose has a player that they don't really use that could be a nice addition called Hernan Lopez.
I don't want him. Fuck no.
You know,
if it was
flashy player, you know, Diego Maradona's
no,
or son-in-law, something like that. I don't know.
No. If I were to take anyone off San Jose, I would take Joseph or Chicho. And obviously, you wouldn't want to get rid of either of them because they look pretty decent.
Yeah,
we just haven't been healthy with both of them yet. So
I think that Pedro de la Vega needs to be sold to PSG or Atletico Madrid, whatever, or maybe Botafogo. I think they're the wild card, though. The three. I don't know if they could do it. I think they need to sell him, open up a DP spot.
You're saying sell him this window?
Yes, they need to sell him now. And then they need to do what they have done before that was successful. They need to go to Mexico, talk to Monterrey, and get German Berterame, an absolute lethal goal scorer for Monterrey. He's averaging 1 goal every other game. So he's about, scores goal, half a goal each game, right? He's only 26 years old. If he's lethal in Liga MX, I think he would be very good in Major League Soccer. You throw him up top, this whole thing has changed. Pedro de la Vega just doesn't make sense really for this roster, the way that they're playing. He doesn't do anything for them. And having a lethal goal scorer that's not Jesus Ferreira, Musovski, I think that could really change things up, because if you can score in Major League Soccer, you can win. That's the most important thing to do. Obviously, in Major League Soccer, they cater to the scoring. They'd have bad defending and DP attackers because they want to see a bunch of goals. If you can't score in Major League Soccer, you can't win. And the Sounders can't consistently score. They just don't have a guy that can do that. Musovski was on a absolute fire, right? 5 out of 5.
We've been quoting Linsanity run. That's what we call it.
Linsanity run, right? And then they just absolutely killed his momentum when they didn't start him. I think it was against LAFC when they had him come off the bench. They just absolutely killed his momentum.
That was so stupid.
So I think that is who I would target, but I just don't think they're going to do anything. I don't even think the Sounders are going to make any signing. Not even one. Not even a
general.
depth.
Both windows.
I agree.
I wouldn't be willing to bet completely on the summer window because it's just anything can happen. I think they can sign players up until September, but I don't think there's any chance they're going to sign anybody from now until the 10th, which is the open window early. And
now the question is, will you oil up if they do?
Still, that's a no. That's a big no. I'd need a piece of that 1 million extra they're getting from the Club World Cup in order to do this. I'd be needing to cut of that. I would need a shirts and cash grab. But Favi and I have talked about this, and we should start to hear in the next day or two some movement from the other teams. We're going to see LAFC, Miami, because you only have till the 10th, which is, let's see, today's Wednesday.
6 days.
Next Tuesday. Yeah, next Tuesday is the last day you can make a signing as an MLS team before the tournament. So things are going to probably start ramping up.
I haven't seen any rumors for like Liga MX teams, right? All this Ronaldo talk. I mean, Ronaldo scored today, but all that, Monterrey, Ronaldo stuff, I haven't seen much. All I've seen is the the travel ban for a lot of these players in other teams, right? So that's the only thing I've seen so far. But these next 6 days are going to be packed.
I think that's the real indicator here. We have to see because that's the measuring stick. And I think Will and I spoke about this actually off camera. We were just talking as we like to do. Now with LAFC in this, it's a closer comparison for Seattle. Because if LAFC does well, LAFC makes moves. Because obviously Miami's a bit of a skewed basket here. I mean, they got Messi, Suarez. They're punching way above their waist with transfers. But LAFC is a little bit more of a closer comparison for Seattle. So depending on how they do, depending on who they bring in, how serious they take it, it's a good measuring stick now. Because you have 3 teams. Obviously, 3 is better than 2. So you have to see what Miami and LAFC do. I mean, but again, the thing is I don't want to, and it's been talked about so much, and I hate how like a lot of the bigger media in the Sounder circle are just like, no, like the club doesn't have to take this seriously. Like we don't need to go all in. And I'm not saying that. I just think just give ourselves like an ounce more of an opportunity. I'm not saying a lot, and I know we're not going to do anything in this tournament. I don't think we need to prioritize it per se, but at least make us like have an inch of hope. The thing is we have no hope. That's the thing that frustrates me is we don't even have an inch of hope. Like, I'm not going to lie. Miami actually has an okay chance because they have a decent roster. And obviously their group is way more favorable. There's more context. But if you have X factors, 1 or 2 of them, you have an inch of hope. LAFC, you have a game changer in Bouanga. And technically you have one in Giroud. You just haven't seen it yet. So you have that inch of hope. But for Seattle, I thought Kent was gonna be that guy, and I still think he can be, but he's been on a little bit of a dry spell recently. But we're not even giving ourselves that inch of hope of being like, you know what? Yeah, I'm excited to see how Darwin Nunez does against PSG in the Rave Green. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's the thing that I think frustrates me. Like, I'm not saying we have to go all in, and I already know it's gonna go out of context. People be like, this fucking Brown guy said that the Sounders should prioritize the Club World Cup. How stupid is that shit? Now, I'm not saying that because there's also the rest of the season. Like, we're all not dummies here. Like, there's 4 of us who watch the league rigorously. Sounders need a striker. We all know this. So it's like, just fucking buy one.
And we've seen we've seen how the team looks when we have because it's not consistent because we don't have a consistently great striker. But I've seen elements of when De Rosario comes in, his strong hold up play and how that moves this attack for the Sounders, and we're able to quickly counterattack with that stuff. Or Musovski just being in the right position to find his way to get the ball in the back of the net. We've seen how when these things were happening, the Sounders looked far more dangerous. We just need it more consistently. Oh, geez.
I know. I saw that too. Just keep going. What was your tangent?
No, I'm just to piggy off the point that you were making, the team, if we could get a consistent number 9, we've seen what it looks like in short, moments when, like I said, when De Rosario's got strong hold-up play, he's able to move the ball quickly, and we're able to start counterattacks quicker, or when Musovski's able to get himself in positions to find a way to put the ball in the back of the net. We've seen what we look like when this is consistently happening. And we look so much more dangerous. So the only worry that I have is listen, Craig's made it pretty clear he's not going to sign anybody just for the Club World Cup. This window that we have, it's just forget about it. If you had any hopes for that, hate to burst your bubble, it's not happening. But
you bursted my bubble.
Yeah, so I'm sorry. It turns out the Sounders are not going to make an ambitious move. I know, shocker, right? But
yeah.
The only thing we can really do is add a U22 striker,
and that's something we can do.
We can do that. The only thing I'm worried about is scouting one. I don't think we have that ability, to be honest with you. And if we do, like, he's not going to be pro. He's not going to be more than likely super pro ready. Like what Will was saying, that striker from the MA Keys, that's a proven goal scorer in a league that's better than the MLS. Like,
the same league Rui Diaz came in. Yeah,
that's the kind of stuff that we need. It's a proven formula for not only us but the league. But we don't have like the roster space to do that with the way that the roster is currently constructed. So
I have to bounce. I think Will might have to bounce too. I'm gonna let you guys continue the stream. J Ross is gonna actually take over. You can just hop in. Okay, he's at himself, but I have to head out, guys. Add this to the screen if it goes away after I leave. I appreciate you all. Everyone, make sure to smash the like button, and then yep, bye bye.
see you later.
What's up, guys?
What up? What up? What up?
What up? What up, J Ross?
Back doing shy on things or what?
Yeah, Sean's on his way to go do shy on things.
Mid-host change, man. It's elite.
Mid-host change.
Up to that.
Yeah, I saw a comment saying that you can't be short-sighted. I mean, address that. Short-sighted about making a signing just because this tournament, because it's more than just a tournament for the rest of the year, making a bad signing. But, like, this team needs to make signings regardless because they're just not very good and they're not consistent. So a U22 striker is not going to probably be effective. The only U22 striker I can think of in Major League Soccer that's been good off the top of my head is Joveljic. And it took him a couple years to really get things going. You can't assume that a kid's going to come in here and just light the league on fire. Re-signing Rusnak was underwhelming to begin with. I had someone come on my show and talk about it. And he said that they were willing to overpay for Albert Rusnak because they didn't want to have to go out and pay a fee for another replacement, a number 10 for Rusnak to bring in. So they were okay with paying him maybe a little more than he's worth. So they didn't have to get into a bidding war or have to go pay a separate transfer fee and bring in another 10. So that right there is just very unambitious to me. It's like it's not like I don't want to say a desperation signing because he's already on the team, but it's just no ambition. That's the key word. There's no ambition. It's like, yeah, we'll keep this guy because we don't want to spend any money, And the one guy that they did spend money on, Jay Ross and I talked about this, and I talked about it with Brody, is that Pedro de la Vega has just been so underwhelming, and he's the one guy they have spent money on in the last 2 years. He just hasn't been good. I told both of you guys last time we were on a stream, I think it was post LAFC game, I said if you have a DP number or a DP winger in Major League Soccer, they have to have 10 goals and 10 assists every single year. That is the bare minimum. That is the bare minimum. That they are expected to be a game changer on the team. They're supposed to make an impact. And Jordi Alba, who is one of the best left backs of all time, I understand that, but he is 35 years old, had 16 assists last year as a left back. If Pedro de la Vega can't get at least 10 assists as a winger, something is wrong. Something is very, very wrong with him. And I think that if they have an offer, like they said, Greg Weibel could be blowing smoke up his ass or out his ass or whatever. But if they have a legitimate offer for him, they got to sell him.
Yeah, no, I think that's fair, especially with like how we're playing now. Like it feels like Kent could slide into that De La Vega role, right? And kind of just take on, like, you see a lot of the similar technicalities like throughout both their games. I feel like it can make sense. I also just don't see the Sounders doing that. Like I don't see the Sounders making that sale. We talked about this, the Leo Chu opportunity, decided not to sell him, ended up having to accept less than we hoped for him. Like I don't see the Sounders doing that as much as it like makes sense for that play to be made.
Will, since you're big on the Pedro de la Vega, like sell Pedro and move on. Like what is, if you are the GM, what's the lowest offer that you're accepting for him? Like what would you say realistically you would try and get for him? Because obviously he was bought for about $7.5 million was the original transfer fee, I believe.
So they originally bought a young DP, if I'm not mistaken, because of the former rule where one of your DPs had to be a young DP in order to use all 3 U22s. That rule's out the window now. You can do 3 DPs, 3 U22s, no matter the designation. So that really doesn't matter anymore. Pedro de la Vega, I want to say was born in 01, if I'm not mistaken. So I think he's going to be 24 this year. His stock is definitely not as high as it was a year ago or almost a year and a half ago. I think if you can get $5 million out of him, you got to do it. I think, I mean, $2 million, obviously you're taking a haircut on that, but he really hasn't done anything for you. So, and you had him for a year and a half to give him a chance. He's been on the team for 18 months. He's been either injured or he hasn't really done anything. He's had like maybe 2 or 3 games where you're like, okay, this guy's pretty good, but he never puts it in a consistent performances, like has a run of like several games where he does that. So I would say if you can get $5 million, maybe bottom dollar, $4.5 million, I would sell him in a heartbeat. Just cut your losses, try to bring someone else in, and hope to God they're better, which it would really be hard, as underwhelming as he has been, because he was supposed to be like, I mean, they play a different position, but he was supposed to give them that energy like what Nico Ladero did, but he's younger, and he just hasn't. Like, that has not been, it's been a complete disaster, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like just the biggest hope is, like, literally if I'm Brian, like Pedro, I would kind of, to be honest, rest him for the Whitecaps game, like have him come off the bench. And then I'm just like trying to get him as many minutes as I can within those 3 games to try and show him off and hope that he can put in great performances and draw a lot of interest. That's my goal there. But honestly, I think out of the 3 DPs, he's the one that by far and away, I think probably the only one that has real like value to other teams. Like, I don't think you're trading Jordan Moore. Like, I want to bring this up here. Shout out Oklahoma Kid. We said pay off Albert or Jordan first. Basically, just like which one would you want to get rid of first to open a DP spot, Albert or Jordan? I just feel like we're not going to do either. Like, you can't, because you got to trade either one of them.
I would say Jordan Morris does have more value in the league, so you probably would want to, try to find a way to get Jordan down.
I guess it just depends on the salary. I don't know what Jordan Morris had that clause in his deal last year where if he scored a certain amount of goals, he would be it would trigger the clause to make him a DP. I don't know how much he's paid, but I think he's paid significantly more than, I mean, he's definitely not, they can't buy him down, but I think he's paid significantly more than the max TAM. I think he's making like maybe closer to $3 million than he is $2 million a year now.
Ooh, is he up? I actually haven't seen that. I don't know how.
It hasn't released yet. So
hasn't been released yet. No, this is just me.
Okay.
This is just like from what I've heard. This is not. I can't confirm that. I think it's closer because when they were negotiating with him and Christian Roldan to re-sign with Seattle 2 years ago, right? They both wanted to be DPs. And they were like, "No, we're not going to make you DPs. We can't do that." So they paid him pretty handsomely. Both of them, I think they're both max TAM players. They were, and they said, "Hey, Jordan, we'll put a clause in your deal. If you score so many goals in the season, then you will be a DP." And because he played the 9 mostly last year, almost the whole year, he hit that goal to make him a DP.
I mean, I think this is a pretty fair statement too. Like, if you're asking this question, the Sounders obviously would do neither, but Rusnak has been producing in terms of current stage, like a DP level for the Sounders this year. Like, when you watch the Sounders play, their style of play now, like it all goes through Rusnak. He's actually producing now. He might not be a DP throughout the full stretch of the year, but like right now through so far this year, I don't think that if you took away his name, you covered his name and just looked at his stats and his salary, you wouldn't say, "Oh, that's a terrible DP signing." So I think Rusnak right now is probably the better of the two.
Albert has been good. Y'all hate him no matter what, but you can't deny he's been good this year. I don't think anyone's denying that Albert Rusnak's a good player, like that he's not a good player. He is a good player. The only thing is like he's not Nico. He's not that upper echelon player that, the Seattle Sounders, I mean, this club has been for the longest time like proper like finalist or like favorites to be a finalist type of team, and this is like at this stage of the MLS, that's not really the player that you want to be your designated player. And he's also, it's not just this year, the contract is going to run for another 2-3 years until he's like 33, 34 years old. So yeah, he's producing right now and he has been good, yes. And like no one's denying that. It's just you got to think about the long-term effects of the DP re-signing.
All right, this is a good question. Ready? How many goals do you think Seattle scores in the Club World Cup? All 3 games combined. What's your guys' takes?
I would say 2, to be honest. 2. And I think the reason is because teams will be up 5-0 already, and then they're just gonna maybe put in all their subs and let it run.
Goals.
Yeah, and I think they're gonna be garbage time goals. But I would say 2. and then one against Botafogo because I'm going to be there. They better score.
Oh, we better. Well,
I would say if the teams tried, none.
That's
mean,
kind of where I'm at too. I think
if Inter Milan can't score on PSG, how is Seattle supposed to?
I mean, dude, last Sunday could not for the life of us break down Minnesota United. Could not for the life of us.
But Brian's going to break down Atletico Madrid.
Oh, for sure.
Oh, true.
Absolutely.
And that's the thing is like that can come off as being too negative, but I'm just being honest, right? I have no skin in the game. Like I'm neutral when it comes to Seattle. I'm just saying what I see. They just don't have the attacking prowess to do anything again. These are the best clubs in the world, not just Major League Soccer. These are the best clubs in the world. You're talking about Botafogo, who's the Copa Libertadores champion, PSG, who's the UEFA Champions League champion, Atletico, who's a top 3 team in the Liga every single year and always has been. How are they going to score on them?
Hey, any given Sunday is like what they say, right? A corner kick, something. Nuhu can, jump over Griezmann and score a header. Something could happen where they could score a goal.
Who's jumping over Griezmann?
Nuhu.
Nuhu won't even have a shot attempt in this tournament.
That is he'll find a way.
It'll be the worst attempt ever, but
depends how loose your
go down
attempt is.
That's my hot take. Hey, think about this. The Vancouver Whitecaps didn't have a single shot against Cruz Azul.
Oh yeah,
didn't have a single shot. Are you sure? That's crazy that the left back won't have a single shot attempt against any of these quality teams.
Does Vancouver have Nuhu at left back?
No. Thank God, right? I just don't. Here's the thing. I don't even think the Nuhu will be in position to even have a chance. I mean, he'd be having to bomb that shit from like midfield, dude. Like, and just hope to God.
Still
it's
talking
like,
about
Nuhu.
Nuhu.
Like that's Nuhu would pull from like he'll get up, he'll find his way into some space like 30 yards out, 35 yards out, and he'll just pull one.
Here's the question I have for you guys, all you guys, okay? And all jokes aside, because it's gonna be bad, but let's just try to have some positivity, right? I said earlier in the show about how these players will have a chance to showcase their talents against some good talent, maybe get a better move or something, increase their value. Who is one player, not that you think could increase their value the most, but who is one player you think will increase their value the most in this tournament?
I think De La Vega is really the only answer here right now.
You think he will do this, or you think he will increase his transfer value?
I think where it's at right now, based off of last year, on a big stage, he could literally have like a nice highlight tape that ends up on Instagram, and that'll raise his value just a little bit. Talking about the standards and the expectations we have for the tournament of the Sounders having no chance to score, no real chance to look good against these teams. It's like the little moments like that could really actually help. And this is also on the world stage, right?
I agree with the chat. That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, so
Obed,
I was going to say that too. For me, it would be Obed Vargas. It really just depends like how high clubs value him right now. Like if clubs value him at like 7-8 million, if not more, like it's kind of hard to raise your value on that. Like you have to have pretty stellar performances to bump his value up significantly.
I mean, he's hyped up already. I don't know if you guys saw on the Club World Cup YouTube, they had like a 8-minute documentary about him. Representing Seattle and everything. So they even interviewed all the other guys who knows about him. So yeah, they're definitely pushing that Obed Vargas is from Seattle. So that his value can definitely go up.
And he's already rumored, I think, with Club America, if I'm not mistaken. So if they could sell him for like even 8 million, they got to do it. They have to do that if someone offers 8 million for him, and then they can just sit on that money and do nothing with it.
Christian, what could take?
Elite
I will say, I wonder how much Obed's price can actually go up. Like we've seen these numbers getting thrown around left and right, especially Liga MX. So I think it'd be different if he can get some eyes from Europe. But I don't know. I don't know how much his value will actually go up based on the numbers we saw in the off season, which supposedly it was like a done deal for him to be sold, and then it just kind of just like keeps lingering around. Now it's kind of, I feel like it's not talked about that much now at all in social media at all.
8 mil is absolutely crazy. I don't think so at all, actually. Especially if he's going to Liga MX. I don't think 8 mil. I think 8 mils.
He's only 19, right? Or 20?
20, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that's not crazy. I think that could happen. And that's another thing too. It's like it's like the World Cup effect, right? Every 4 years when there's a World Cup, there is a guy from a random country that balls his ass off, and then his transfer stock just blows up. Now, I'm gonna say this guy's not random, like as far as what country he played for, but in 2014, I think of James Rodriguez. Dude, nobody really knew much about him, and then he blew the fuck up, dude, at the World Cup. And then Madrid paid like, what was it, like 70 or 80 million euros for him that summer. And that happens all the time. It just like showcasing. It's people don't know who Obed Vargas is, but if he plays against PSG and balls out and just looks really good and he can show that he can play at that level, there will be somebody who's interested in buying him.
Oh yeah,
because
I mean, think about Amrabat when they signed for United after the World Cup when he was on Morocco. Like that dude's wow, word stutter. That dude's market skyrocketed and clearly wasn't worth it in the long shot. Like a good tournament definitely can raise, and that shows like any position on the field. It's not just putting the ball in the back of the net. Like getting on the world stage and performing to any extent.
About Enzo Fernandez for Argentina when he played, was it Porto or Benfica he played for? It was Porto, right?
It was
Benfica, I think.
Or was it Benfica? Benfica. So they bought him for like 8 million, maybe it was $10 million, and then he ended up selling for 130 million euros because of his performance at the World Cup.
McAllister as well.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. So they're going to get a chance. I mean, nobody cares if Obed Vargas plays good against Houston Dynamo or San Diego FC. Nobody cares about that. Like that doesn't really tell you much. But if he plays good against Atletico Madrid, Botafogo, or PSG, he could absolutely skyrocket. Who knows? He could sell for 12 million. Who knows? Like there are people that pay crazy prices for players all the time. And you know what? If we're talking about the global transfer market, 12 million is nothing for some of these teams. They'll drop 12 million on a bum who they think might be good. I mean, I can't remember the one guy that Barcelona bought off the top of my head. He's the Brazilian. It's a little different, but he's the Brazilian. It's not, oh God, what is his name? It's escaped me, but he was a bum. He was a bust. And they don't even have that much money. And they spent like 50 million on him. Was it Vitor, I think?
Roque, I think.
Yeah, Roque. Yeah, Vitor Roque. Yes. Yeah. They spent 50 million on him. And he didn't do shit.
Yeah.
So 12 million is nothing, dude. That's like a drop in the hat for some of these teams.
John says Georgie. Listen, I think instead of having scouts watch Georgie play the actual game, the Sounders should play Georgie, cut up his dribbling when he dribbles right by the defender, and then just cut it at that. Just like cut it at that moment before he can whip a cross in or get a shot off. And I think we'd make like 10 million off of Georgie, to be honest with you. But that's the only way I think his value increases, to be honest.
I was a little late to the stream set and hear you guys talking earlier, but this is a pretty good point brought up, and I want to hear your guys' opinion on something like this. And if the MLS will the fine on the players, like what's your guys' thoughts around a comment like this?
I don't think they would, because we would already have seen it. So I don't think there would be a fine personally, because it's kind of like a cohesive unit, so you can't really fine the whole team. You can, but then that's going against it, and then you make this into a bigger deal. I think MLS is going to kind of just let it ride out personally.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that. I don't see why they would. I just there's no reason I think to push it any further than just like, hey, no, like we're not gonna do your proposal. I think they'll just leave it at that. I don't see why they would need to go that far, I guess.
I really only see fines when players criticize the refereeing or the league in general, not like the money side of things.
Yeah. Craig Dubs is the best. Barry, you are the GOAT. That comment, however, is not goated, unfortunately.
Barry's a dual member. Dude. He's a member of your guys' channel and my channel. He's the GOAT, though. We got to give him a shout out. He is the GOAT. He's always coming through.
He's absolutely the GOAT. Absolutely the GOAT.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty doom and gloom. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Like, we got 10 days. Does Seattle play the 14th? Or they play the 16th, right? They don't play opening 16th. Day. Yeah. And their first game is against PSG?
Botafogo.
Yeah. It's going to be an early night for you guys. We'll just see what happens, how bad it gets, how early. I think that because I have to run here in a second, I was just going to say, I personally, this sounds terrible. Like it's nothing against the Sounders, but I'm only going to be doing live streams for Miami and LAFC, but also because I know you guys are going to be doing too. I don't want to step on your live streams, but another thing is because I'll swing by here and see what the hell's going on. But I don't even want to waste my time because I just know it's going to be bad. And it's nothing to do with Seattle's fans. I feel bad for you guys. Like, it's just because the ambition's just not there. And it's going to be, this is going to be an interesting comparison to show how far of a gap there is between teams like this and the Sounders. I mean, they already got embarrassed in 23 when they lost to Al Ahly in the Club World Cup. I don't remember what the score of the game was. It 3-0 or is it 3-1? Was it 2-0?
Like
it was terrible though. They got beat down, right? It wasn't even close.
Yeah, it was not good.
We will see what happens. I'm wishing the best for you guys. I don't want you guys to lose, but I just know I'm just being real here. It's not going to be pretty. And if I'm wrong, then holy shit, the Sounders are going on the most insane run in probably soccer history. Honestly, this is like the craziest shit ever. But we'll see what happens. It's going to get your guys' brand out there. People are going to see the Sounders for the first time ever. There's going to be people who's never even heard of the Sounders. They're going to see them play against these absolute fucking behemoths of teams. And that's actually kind of cool when you think about it. So that's the positive. I'm excited to see what happens. Appreciate you guys for having me on. I'll see you guys soon. And also make sure you check me out at MLS Moves for Club World Cup content. I'm going to have a preview here next week for my predictions. And I've got Alexi Lawless also coming on for next week to talk about the Club World Cup. So make sure you check that out at MLS Moves. And appreciate you guys for having me on.
Of course, bro. It's always a pleasure. Always a pleasure having you on. And yeah, you guys, if you haven't already, I'm sure you guys all have, but yeah, check out MLS Moves, check out his content. He's going to be grinding for the Club World Cup just like we are. So we're going to provide you guys with a lot of content. So just stay in tune with MLS Moves and with us as well. So yeah, thank you for coming on. Always
see you guys. Make sure you like the post or the link down below.
All right, now that he's gone, now we can think about what if they do win versus Botafogo.
Yeah. I will say though.
No.
Yeah. Okay. I don't think obviously I don't think we will. Like, I think a lot of people underestimate how good Botafogo is, but also it is kind of a blessing for the Sounders that realistically of all the games we have a chance to have it be a game and get some excitement. I think it's good it's in game 1 because if it were to be game 3 and we lost on aggregate between the two games 9-0, I don't think there'd be much energy. But imagine, let's say, even if something happens, even if we lose 2-1 or if we pull off a draw or anything happens, the scenes of the world watching it, even though it's just us versus Botafogo, like we won't have all of Europe watching, but the highlights online being posted of that stadium bumping could actually do wonders for the Sounders, even on a signing level. Like, you're a kid from Argentina, Brazil, and you see that, like, that's going to get some attention.
Yeah, no, it's definitely a good opportunity. Like you said, it is. You are fortunate that it's going to be against Botafogo first, in my opinion. I think a lot of Seattle Sounder fans are probably going to go out to that game thinking that Seattle could possibly do something, like get a draw. So unless it's like the CONCACAF Champions Cup final where they go down 4-0 right away, there might be some optimism in that stadium. If, like you said, if it's 1-0 at half, who knows, right? Who knows? And those first 70 minutes, if it's close, are going to be something really nice to see for Seattle fans and the city of Seattle too.
Fabi, our guy, bro. Our guy. I know he hasn't been playing great so far, but if Jesus Ferreira, man, if he shows up in the Club World Cup,
that was going to be who I was going to choose. And I didn't want to be like, oh, the ultimate Glazer, Jesus Ferreira. But to be honest, this guy played for the USMNT, right? So he does have some sort of value in, like, I know this is going to sound really weird. But when I was flipping through the Seattle Sounders game the other day and Jesus Ferreira scored, my mom's like, oh, I know who that is. He scored? Wait, he's not playing for USA? So if my mom knows who Jesus Ferreira is, either I'm the biggest Glazer in the world or he has some sort of value and he's famous, right? So
maybe a little both.
A little bit of both, right? But I think the Pirate of the Caribbean is going to go ahead and look at Botafogo and say, is this a Caribbean team? And score against them. Watch.
We gotta tell Jesus they're all Caribbean teams.
Right.
Don't look at the map. Just trust us, bro. Don't look at the map. They're all Caribbean teams. Yeah, I know. It's just for me with Ferreira, it's just how much of an opportunity is he going to get? I mean, you got Jordan Morris. I mean, apparently, according to Schmetzer, he's going to be on the bench for Vancouver, which means he'll probably, assuming he doesn't tweak anything again, he'll get a lot of minutes in the Club World Cup. Then you got Masovsky. Exactly, cross the fingers. Then you got Masovsky as well. So it all depends how much of a run he actually gets. The only thing in my brain that I can compare it to is when he started a game in the World Cup, and that was probably the worst Jesus Ferreira performance I've ever seen. And I watched a lot of him. So, but I mean, we could hope for the best, bro. I hope for the best because if he plays well, bro, and then he increases his value and we sell him for a bit, then we were never wrong, Bobby. We would never have been wrong.
100%. I still think we're not wrong because to find a proven goal scorer within MLS, you have to pay premium top dollar. I mean, look at Evander going to Cincinnati, right? So for what they still got him for, I'm still not out yet on what they got him for personally.
Yeah, I was even looking.
Look at Campana. Like he hasn't lived up to the bill either. So, like I said, that's why I always laugh when I'm on.
You should have said that because that was one of the things that you're like. Will was like, you guys would really take Ferreira over Campana. That was like one of his big talking points.
It's just funny because every time I'm on here, I'm like, it's doom and gloom. The sky is falling for the Sounders, and I'm like, hey man, it could be a lot worse. You guys could be Houston right now, right?
Fourth or fifth in the West, yeah.
And to be completely honest, in MLS, the season doesn't really start until the halfway point. Let's be real. And you guys should know that.
The Sounders of all teams know that for sure. That's kind of like the Sounders narrative. So, but to be fair, when that was prime Sounders narrative, we also were the team that was splashing in the transfer market in the summer. So we'll have to see if that actually holds up to the typical Sounders way. Because like Ladero, all those, all the big names, those came in the summer. And that's how we should turn it around.
Right.
Brad Evans said we should get Ronaldo on the news. So I want to ask you this, Fabi, because I feel like you would probably know more about this than us. But
sure.
So obviously we get that window because we're in the Club World Cup, and you can sign players just for the tournament. Is that correct? Right?
Yes.
Does that like allow us any roster flexibility, or are we still within our like MLS roster?
Yeah, with if I'm not mistaken, every team that's in this tournament got an extra 1.5 TAM or GAM. I'm so lost on this now because this is a whole bunch of new roster moves, but I do know you guys did get some more money. So when we're talking about roster flexibility, I actually do think, because we don't know Jordan Morris's numbers, that there is some flexibility due to that new money that's coming in for the Club World Cup. So I don't think it's a 100% chance that Seattle's not going to make a move. I do think there is a chance that they can. Now, do they get the move that they want, or do they get the move that's beneficial for them in the MLS season? I think they're a little bit more on the conservative side when it comes to making a change for this tournament, just because the way the draw was. They got 3 really tough games, and then they also are a team that I would say doesn't really care too much about like Leagues Cup and those type of things. They care more about the MLS season and kind of staying to what they're known for, right? Which is good MLS talent, youth development, all these things, that good defense that keeps them in the upper echelon of MLS teams. So, but I do think they do have a flexibility. I can look this up while you guys are talking to just double check, but I think if I'm not mistaken, it's like 1.5 in GAM, and that goes to all 3 teams now, LAFC as well, that are competing in this Club World Cup. So if that GAM goes to them right now, and then you can use GAM for anything, right? So you could buy down essentially Jordan Morris if he doesn't, if his salary is not too high up, right? Or then you could also sell De La Vega, and possibly get 2 open DP slots. So it is interesting. Of course, you should go get Ronaldo. Everybody should go get Ronaldo. But if you're not mistaken, or if you can remember, he did have a pending trial in the United States for a night he had in Las Vegas, right? Which stopped him from coming to MLS the first time. But in 2023, he settled something outside of court, so that wouldn't be an issue today. So I think Ronaldo to MLS or Liga MX is a lot stronger it is today than it was back in the past, just because of that court case, personally. So yeah, it sounds crazy to say go get Ronaldo, but who won? Who owns his discovery rights? Because we still have to worry about those MLS rules. Like if you want to go get Darwin Nunez, does anybody have him on discovery rights list? Like you got to pay for that too. So honestly, not only are MLS teams hindered by the overall talent of the league in this tournament, they're hindered by the MLS rules. You know, you have to still play within the rules and discovery rights and TAM and GAM and U22s and everybody here knows. I bet all your fans have a PhD in MLS roster rules.
Am I making this up or SKC? I thought that was the whole story.
Yeah, they
SKC
did.
has them, right?
The last team to have Ronaldo on their discovery rights list was the SKC.
That's what I thought.
And to be honest, the way the league handled De Bruyne's discovery rights, where it went from San Diego to Miami, then to Miami to Chicago, I don't know what happened. Why aren't those transfers of discovery rights talked about or made public? Because to me, it looks like the league can actually step in and say this team cannot sign this player, so his discovery or the team's discovery rights are relinquished. And I'm thinking that happened with De Bruyne. So I would assume so. If some team in the Club World Cup actually wanted to sign Ronaldo seriously, they would relinquish the rights from Sporting Kansas City because they're not even in the Club World Cup. So like Ronaldo could say, I want to go to an MLS team that has a Club World Cup bid or, a spot. And then I think that instantly would just take away the rights from SKC, because in the rule book, it says if a team cannot seriously offer the player a contract, then that player is not on their list anymore. So it just depends on all these backdoor things that are happening, unfortunately, because there's no transparency with discovery rights. So that's why I think maybe this is a good opportunity to possibly try to bypass the discovery rights to get a player and to really give this team a facelift. So I don't know. I get it. It's the Sounders, but maybe we could be a little bit optimistic this next week and the game with Botafogo. This team might look different.
Who would have guessed the MLS has a bunch of rules that make no sense, hard to follow, that can change on the flip of a coin?
Yeah, no. Honestly, the Inter Miami De Bruyne stuff, I was pulling my hair out because I was like, this makes no sense. San Diego has like 7 discovery rights slots, and they got rid of De Bruyne, who was willing to leave for MLS. It's like, what? Why would you do that? Why would you get rid of that person on your discovery rights list when you have 2 more slots than everybody else? So it's interesting.
Just to answer this real quick, as per usual, Cheyenne is out doing Cheyenne things. Brody knows best. But so I think a good way to wrap this up, guys, I saw a spam in the chat about this is commented about 15,000 times. So I think this is a good spot to end it. We kind of alluded to it a little bit, but maybe if we just do rapid fire, go through our predictions for each game for the scores. Brody, let's go with you. Sounders, Botafogo, what are you thinking?
I think the Sounders get their one and only goal against Botafogo. But I think it's going to be – I think it's probably going to be – you're looking at like a 4-1. I would say 3-4-1 against Botafogo. Yeah. And then Atleti PSG, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I guess I would say if we can do better, my hope is that we can do better than Inter Milan. If we can keep it under 5, that would be awesome. But I'm expecting like a 5-0, 6-0 for both of those games. Maybe not. Maybe Atleti more like a 3-4-0. But I think PSG will batter us. I think it could be 5, 6, 7 goals, if not more. I mean, I wish I had a better prediction for you guys, but I'm just trying to keep it. I'm just trying to keep it real, I guess. I don't know.
So you guys think once PSG's up 4-0, you think they're going to be playing as hard? You don't think Seattle's going to be able to get 1 or 2?
I could see it happen. I think I'm not going to say PSG necessarily. I'm going to say that we're going to sneak a goal in either Atletico or PSG, one or the other. I think that we'll have our moment. We'll score a goal. And I'm going to make a bold prediction. I'm going to say we're going to tie Botafogo, and it's going to be the scrappiest. I'm going to say a 1-1 draw. We're going to have 37% possession, and we're going to have a stupid, like Danny Musovski-esque, like deflection goal. Stadium's going crazy. And then, I mean, it will end up being a boring game for anyone watching on TV.
Hey, we need to put some respect on the Reno legend that is Danny Musovsky, all right? USL championship legend, all right?
What do you mean? I said he's going to score.
No, I agree with you. I'm going to be optimistic. I think the Seattle Sounders are going to tie versus Botafogo, and everyone is going to be shocked. I think if that's going to be the game, that's going to be the game that Seattle makes a stand, and it becomes like maybe a 2-2 game. And then the rest of the group, it's going to be like, I'm actually going to think that Seattle's going to score some goals. I think, versus Atleti, it could possibly be 4-1. But I think PSG might have a Champions League hangover, and they might get tired from 60 to 90 minutes. So I think they can score a goal on PSG too, to be honest. And those guys don't want to play. They just want a Champions League. They want to party. They want to go to the Pike's Place, catch a fish. All right. They go up 5 goals. They know they're getting the 3 points. They're going to put in some guys, or they're going to start to fall asleep personally. And I think that's when Seattle can sneak in some goals. So I'm going to make this prediction. I think Seattle scores over 3 goals in this tournament.
I like it.
Mm.
I like it. Well,
I like the reasoning, bro. I mean, it checks out. I mean, like if I'm PSG, if I'm a PSG player, I'm in absolute la la land right now, bro.
Yeah, 100%. That's why I'm like, I don't know, guys. Like I might think that these European teams aren't going to take it as seriously. I'm starting to think that.
I think it also depends, like, because I think PSG's our 3rd game, if I'm not mistaken. So if PSG's like if they got 4 points and they're through,
right?
Like we really could. If they're not through, I mean, the tournament has a lot of money at stake. So if PSG's not through, let's say have
the money for PSG, like,
that is true. That is true. But I just feel like, I mean, just competition in general. Like I think if they only have 2 points through 2 and they have to play us, like I think they'll turn it up a little bit. But if they're in a position where they're already on to the next round essentially, then I do see the logic in us being able to put some goals in the back of the net. But yeah, I mean,
Jesus basically says, "Hey, I'm just as good as Lucho Acosta, and you guys wanted Lucho Acosta a couple years back. Let me score some goals on you, and boom, hat trick. Ferreira gets shipped off in the offseason in the summer transfer window, and then this team looks completely different."
I didn't even think about that. That's obviously what's going to happen. All right. Someone clip that in the chat.
All right. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I think we've covered everything, to be honest with you. And listen, it's been an awesome stream. It's been fantastic just talking about the Club World Cup, even if it's all doom and gloom. If that's what the vibes are around the Seattle Sounders' hopes and chances at the Club World Cup, at least we can enjoy the absolute aura of these PSG Atleti coming to Seattle and just enjoying that experience. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you guys for tuning into the stream. If you have not already, throw a thumbs up on there. It really helps the channel. And if you have not subscribed to the channel, I hope that you do so. And if you haven't, we have a YouTube membership. If you guys want to check that out, that'd be cool. And then also, if you guys don't know, but I'm sure you do, make sure you guys check out Fabi on his social medias. I'm sure you got Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, all that stuff.
Thank you. Yeah. Check me out on Fabian Rankel. I'm on Threads too. Something no one says, So yeah. Thank you guys so much for having me on. It was a pleasure.
All right, sweet. All right, for all you guys watching, thank you so much, and I hope you all have a very blessed day.